Hi, friends and family. Welcome back to New Beginnings Podcast. So, we just want to tell you that we love you. We are so grateful and thankful that you logged on and that you're paying attention or you're watching. Um, Last, we talked about uh, my testimony and how the transformation took place. And then we're going to hear from my husband. We just wanted to let you know that we are based out of Austin, Texas. Our church is Austin Powerhouse, and we are in Austin, Texas. So if you're looking for a church and it's a Bible based church, spirit filled, non denomination, we are not religious. We basically really want people who are broke, busted, and disgusted the way I was.
Facts.
And the way he was. And so if you're looking for a place to come fellowship or you need prayer or you would just like to join in and sit in on a service, we would love to have you. And we will definitely be there to meet and greet them, right?
Yeah, we'll
And
save you
share.
a seat. That's what we say. We'll save
Save
you a
you a
seat.
seat. Yeah. And it's not based on what you have on the outside, it's on the inside. So
And it's at 3 o'clock, so you can sleep late and still get there on time.
yeah. And I shared a little bit in my testimony about how when I met my pastors at a backyard barbecue, and eventually you're going to hear from him and how God transformed his life and how he started a church in Austin, Texas. A lot of the meaning and the purpose of New Beginnings is we want people to know that when God steps into your life, he can definitely give you a new beginning. And you were able to hear about my testimony, and you're going to hear about my husband's testimony of when we accept Jesus Christ into our life. And my pastor is going to come on, and we're going to have many people. And our goal and our mission and a vision of what we have is that you will hear not just our story, but you will hear many stories of transformation of real life people, of real life situations, of how God truly transformed them and how God has taken people out of prison and he's restored their life. My husband being one of those, and he's going to share that story. But we want you to see, we want you to get a visual, we want you to hear that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The same God who changed me is the same God that can change you, who can change anyone who calls upon his name. And so we are in the process of doing many things with New Beginnings. We are going to share more as we continue our podcast and what God is doing and the vision and the direction that we're going, and hopefully have a transitional house. And
There you go. I was waiting for you to say.
yeah, but I was trying to be, I was trying to be discreet, but I got to tell them,
Be
right?
discreet when you ever been discreet.
Yeah. So, we're in the process. I go into women's prison.
There you are.
I go into the women's prison here in Texas, and I'm able to share my story of how God truly transformed my life. But being able to go into the women's prison and share the love of Jesus Christ, not based on what they've done wrong, but based on them being a child of God, just like you are. You're a child of God, and just like you were when I met you, right? When I met you, and I shared the love of Jesus and the gospel, and
I
so
wanted that Jesus, like she had a glow around her. Like when I met her for the first time.
I did.
You
Was it
still did.
sexy?
Yeah. That was so good.
Oh,
It was okay because I was still in the world. When I met her, I was still in the world. I ain't gonna lie. I tell you, I was trying to holler at her. She had a
so
it
yes,
need to be
hold on.
looking good.
I'm gonna let
Hold
you
on.
loose. I'm gonna let you loose. Just give me 1 second. So yes, so we are. I go into the women's prison, and we are in hopes that we will get a men and women's transitional home to be
Yes.
able to help people getting out of prison. When they are being released from being incarcerated to start this new life and part of their journey, and helping them have a new beginning. And
Absolutely.
so that's what this whole podcast and all of this is about, is that we want you to see, we want your story, we want people's
Yes.
stories to be told, and we are going to share with you many stories of how God is into transforming lives, and
Absolutely.
he's the same yesterday, and he still does it today, and he will continue to do it. And so yeah, so when I met you, and you were sharing with them that when you met Bishop and he went to go get a suit from you, did you
Oh
share?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
I was in prison. Well, I had the go back and watch and go back to the first episode. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe because we need that from you. That right there is just gonna help continue to do what God wants us to do. But before God had placed me in prison, One more thing. To all you mothers who are watching this, those prayers are powerful. I can remember when my mom told me that she didn't know what to do with me anymore. And she finally gave me to God. And when she did that, it was less than 3 months later that I had violated my probation. But I was okay because I normally just paid my way out of it.
You went to prison?
Stop.
How come you never told me?
Whatever. So when I finally violated on the last time and the judge gave me 2 years for possession of marijuana, that's like a 6-month misdemeanor crime.
You told me it was for your cataracts.
I get oh my God. Yes. So first my mom prays that, bro. How does your mama pray for you? But that's all she had left. I already had been keeping her up. It had been way too much for her. God bless my mom. And that was a powerful prayer. So for you mothers out there that want change for your children, when you pray that prayer, be ready because 99% of the time it's not your plan. And if you really prayed that prayer, then allow God to do what he does because shout out to my mom,
Hey, my mom prayed for me too. She
See what
prayed
I
like
mean?
she prayed like
Those mothers'
I
prayers.
think that's why when they say like when you go to your mom's house, like when we were in the world and we'd go to our mom's house and it just felt so peaceful to lay on
Yeah,
their bed because like all the drugs, all the partying, but there was like that
Sense of
I think like
peace.
her bed was saturated in prayers because I would go there and I would just fall asleep. But it was like my mom prayed
real
so
rest.
hard. Yeah,
Real
like she
rest.
prayed really hard. So it sounds
Yeah.
like your mom did the same thing, right?
Well, I believe it because you're a mother today, and I've seen your tears
Yeah, you're right.
for our kids. So, lo and behold, boom, locked me up 2 years. I don't get it. I don't understand why I got 2 years of prison, and I've seen guys come in and out 3 different times on a 6-month bid, and I'm like, bro, you've been here 3 times in my 2 years, and like, yeah, you just got screwed. But it wasn't until I had fallen out of line to go to chapel, and I didn't go to chapel to go to church. I went to chapel to go pick up cigarettes. And when I went to chapel to go pick up cigarettes, because that was when we are going to pass, in the hallway they were doing a shakedown. So I decided to go back into the church so that I wouldn't get shook down with cigarettes in my sock. And sure enough, I go in there and they start talking about Jesus and how he can bless you and he can erase all your sins and he no longer remembers all the bad that you had or anything.
Man,
And
sound like Jesus did a setup on you. He set you up to like show up to church.
doesn't he though? You know what I mean? Like, don't he? Because I ain't gonna lie, even today, I be setting up some of my coworkers. I be like, look, dog, I'm gonna take you out to eat, but you gotta go church with me first.
Yeah.
So I do my 2 years. Like I said in the first episode, 99% of men find God when they go to prison, but only 1% keep him when they get out. And I figured out the definition of insanity, which was doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So when I get out, I think this is a lot.
Yeah, but tell the part where you said too that when you went to the church and there was a volunteer that kept on coming week after week,
yes.
like
So
after you accidentally ended up in that.
yes,
In that
I accidentally ended up
yeah.
going and getting the cigarettes, and that's how I met.
But it was a church service, right?
Church service,
in
yeah,
jail.
non-denominational,
In jail,
Bible-based church service, and it was the volunteers, and I'm still in my flesh. I'm like maybe 8 months into my 2-year bid, and I'm like, why are y'all here? Like the volunteers that would show up and drive and feed us God's word. Like I'm like, why are y'all here? Like, how much do they pay y'all? And like, they don't pay us nothing. Like, then why do you even come? Why do y'all come to prison for us?
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I'm so excited about you going into the prison. And I've told you this before that you understand why you're going to the prison to feed the women, but you will never understand what it feels like for you to
have
go.
somebody show up.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
that know you.
that don't know you. And
Yeah.
like we prayed for them this past
And without
week.
you doing anything for them, right?
Like what are yes.
Like so you could not do nothing for the man that would show up week after week. Like you couldn't put gas in his car.
No.
You couldn't go buy him lunch. You couldn't take
that was
him.
what we
Like you were waiting for people to put money on your books, right?
Yeah, because even like when we would eat in prison, you know what I mean? Like the only time you would spread is if everybody put in. So otherwise you ate by yourself. You know what I mean? But if we're eating with everybody has to put in. That was just I scratch your back, you scratch mine. That was just a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so lo and behold, I find Jesus inside there. They tell me that I can give my life to the Lord, and then I remember a Sunday, my mom shows up, and I'm like, man, I gotta tell her. I'm like, Mom, I'm not Catholic no more. And
how did that feel?
well,
to tell her?
yeah, I was kind of like, well, and I was behind. I had restricted visits, so I told her when I was behind the glass.
So she
Because she could have hit me if I didn't know how this was gonna go. Because I told you, like my mom, she's like a Guadalupana. She like hardcore.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I was kind of afraid to like, what is she gonna say?
Yeah.
Well, the blessing behind all that was she said, son, I just want you to serve Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And man, and that just that release from my mom gave me like such a huge
I think it's because
blessing
we
right
have,
there.
I think that's, me growing up in a religion-based church. Like, it's not like I had a decision or the free will to follow Jesus. Like, we were taken to church, right? And I
Yeah.
think that's a lot of the world that we live in. And a lot of the people that don't know about a relationship with Jesus Christ or relationship with Christ is because they just grow up. It was just like, this is what was handed to me, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I think it's especially Latinos, we have like a loyalty. So it's like, we got to be loyal to this religion or this thing that we were taught.
I guess
but not
Cowboy fan too.
But not but not about a relationship. Like we didn't know about a relationship with Christ, and you're not able to make that free will, that free decision until we get to this place in our life where there's like true brokenness.
Right,
and I think that's what happened for you, was you were broken while being in prison, and you gave your life to Jesus.
Yeah.
And then you get out.
So I give my life to Jesus inside there. I get out, and I think this is...
When did you get out? What year was that?
I got out October 19th, 2009.
2009.
Yes.
Okay.
I got out October 19th, 2009. And
I meet you 6 months later.
Yes. But the biggest thing about the podcast and our end result and having the transition house and what we want to do for them.
Yeah.
If honestly, and I don't know how, and we are not political by any means, but if you can help somebody be situated when they get out, their situation is completely different. I got out and I had a job.
I'm not going back to prison,
absolutely.
Right? Like they have something
Tuesday,
to work for.
I got out on Tuesday, and by Thursday, I had my old job again. I had a house. Like I was able to come back.
Got out and became a productive citizen.
Very, very.
But that's because
I had somebody. I had somebody
to
do that. So that's our goal. That's truly us.
Yeah.
So I get out. I go.
Working at Men's Warehouse.
Working at Men's Warehouse, and there's this couple with the daughter that shows up, and they're getting a suit, and we just conversation. What's the suit for? And they're like, oh, we're going to a marriage retreat. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm not married, so I don't really know what that is. And they're like, yeah, our church, we're having it. And their daughter invited me. And to church. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? And I kind of brushed it off. But what's crazy was the following week, the pastor of that church, Bishop Paulo Hayda, Austin Powerhouse Church, they wild out there.
Yeah.
He shows up, him and his wife, to buy a suit for this marriage retreat, and they started talking about it, and I was like, man, it's one of your peoples just bought a suit, and they invited me to the same marriage retreat, but I told them I wasn't married. Well, and then Bishop Ojeda's wife, Pastor Lillian, she's a prophet. You'll find out about her in the later episodes and stuff like that, but Pastor Lillian's a prophet, and she was like, mijo,
invited you to church.
Yes, I want you to come to church. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice, ma'am. Here I am. I'm going to say yes so that I can sell the dude a suit. I was still in the world.
Mentality.
I was still in the world. So I was still in the world. Whatever I got to do or say to make this sell happen. That's what it was. Well, little did I know.
They were going to sell you.
Little did I know they sold me. And So she was like, mijo, and like mijo. I think she was. Well, I didn't think. Now I know she's Brazilian, but I didn't know what she was back then. She just had like that mom mijo, and she was like, mijo, when pay attention to the lady who's gonna come and pick up these suits. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, and then instantly, Bishop Ojeda was like, no, what you mean? No, that ain't. And then she was like, they started talking in Portuguese. I thought they were fighting, but they weren't. They were just talking. But Portuguese people, they be loud, right? They were very aggressive. And she said, pay attention to the lady that's going to come and pick up the suit. That's going to be your wife.
That's so funny because meanwhile, all of this is happening. Lo and behold, they're having a conversation. Like I'm not even in the room, right? Like so
Yeah,
they're
no,
talking
we
to
didn't
me,
even.
right?
We're talking about Nina.
So they're telling me and they're all having this like little conversation in this meeting, and Bishop tells or Pastor Lillian tells him to pay attention to the lady that's going to come. Well, I'm that lady
Yes.
that they send to go to pick up Bishop's suit because I was his assistant helping him. I was his armor bearer doing things for them. And they were like, go pick up these suits and ask for a guy named George. And I'm like, okay. Like, and then Pastor Lillian tells me something that's the most profound words of a prophet. She said, that young man there, he loves God, which she could see through his heart, basically. He loves God. He just doesn't know how. And I didn't know what that really meant. And I think that that's because you wanted a relationship with God. You just didn't know how to get one or obtain one.
Yeah.
And I go in there and I tell him I'm here to bring him to. I go, hey, I'm here to ask for George. And
I'm still in the world, like 100% still in the world, still trying.
what does that mean when you say I'm in the world?
I'm in the
like,
world
you
meaning
can
like
explain that to some of our listeners.
Yeah, so in the world means like my thoughts and everything was
Unpure,
still
unclear.
unpure. Okay, well, very perverted. She walks in, bro. She walks in. She's got a BB hat, a BB shirt.
That's when it was in style.
Yes,
like, don't
BB
be,
was
not like
rocking.
last week, right?
Yeah, no. It was 16 years ago. She walked in and she was rocking. So I was standing next to a homeboy there at work. I was like, damn. I was like, watch out. Let me go holler at this girl. I'm gonna go holler at. I get her. Hey, ma'am, can I help you? And then it was just random because she was like, yeah, I'm here to see George. And I was like, oh, that fool. I'm George. I'm George. How can I help you?
You made that same face too when I showed up.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm George. And she was like, yeah, I'm here to pick up a suit. And I was like, oh, snap. Well,
You're the lady
that I'm supposed to be watching for, right? And I was like, when Pastor Lillian said that about inviting us to the church, I was like, dang, y'all be giving wives out at that church? Like, I was trying to go. Like,
and I was single for 3 years. I mean, I'm talking about like single. Like I told you this, but for some of those women that don't know what that means, I'm talking about celibate. Like true celibacy means like I didn't talk to a guy on the phone. I wasn't having like secret lover conversations in midnight hours. I wasn't, going on these, hot dates. I literally was like in my Bible dating God for 3 years. Like not going out, I mean, I literally didn't even talk to a man on the phone. Like even my son's father was like, no, like I didn't have time. And it was like really, really being in a relationship with God for 3 years. Like he's what I talked, he's what I breathed, he's what I dated, he's what I like took in over and over and over in my heart. And it was.
And when I met you and we talk about that now, and even
well, go ahead.
And even then, like, yes, that's what I wanted. Like when I was in prison, I wanted a good girl.
Yeah.
I wanted something different because for like 18 months I had been in my Bible. Like in prison, you can read for like 3-4 hours with no distractions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can go to sleep, wake up, and you're still reading. You get into life, you trying to dig for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Right. So yes, when I was. So we get out, I get out and we meet, and then.
But the guy, you were told the guy.
Yes, that I was going to, let me go holler at her. And
I tell you about Jesus, and you're like, yes. Oh, here's the lady.
She invites me to the church, and I was like, well, I already got a church. Because I didn't know I was supposed to go with you to church. You invited me, and I was like, well, I already have a church. Because I was going to another church because I was looking for a good girl. I was still in the world. I was like I was prowling. That's what I was doing. And when you said that Pastor Lillian said that he wants to love God, he just didn't know how. Yeah. That was the blanket that God used, which was your heart and your hand to cover mine, because it stopped everything.
And when we went on our first date, I think, to fast forward a little bit, I gave him my phone number, but I really prayed and asked God, like, is this really you? Because I didn't want to make the same mistake, because I told God I'm really good about screwing up my life.
When she means give me her phone number, I was literally waiting at the register. I had slid over my business card, right? Turned it upside down. I told you I was live. Fool. Slid over my business card and I gave her my PIN. And we waited there for like 3 minutes. Imagine if I was to wait here for 3 minutes. It'd be real dead. We'd lose a lot of subscribers because we weren't doing nothing. So it was very awkward and strange up there, bro. So here she is, and I'm just like, I don't know I'm just dumb, like waiting, and here you are talking to Jesus.
Did she forget her phone number?
Yeah, like does she have a phone? Like
back then, they didn't really. I think cell phones had barely come out or something.
well, not barely come out, but yeah, it wasn't very popular that everybody had a phone like the way it is today. Like even some of the phone, I think I may have had a BlackBerry too. So yeah, I had a BlackBerry or something. So it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like we could just touch phones and then it's not like we had dot cards or something. But so I'm waiting, and then she gives it to me. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I appreciate it. And then
he had that same look.
And then they leave, right? She leaves. She takes the suit. She leaves. Well, I ain't dumb, so I went straight to the phone. Boom, boom, boom. 512.
I think you were still in the world. You thought I was lying to you.
Right? So I call it, and I'm like, "Is Nina there?" And she was like, "This is her." And I was like, okay, cool. This is George from Men's Warehouse. I just want to make sure you gave me the right number. I'll call you when I gotta get off. I gotta go.
I have that card too, right?
I do have it. I do. I still have it.
It's in your box.
It is. I have the card with your name on it and your number.
You love me.
I do. So I get her phone number. I'm still in the world. It's a Saturday night. We're on the phone chatting and talking. She's getting ready for church.
No. We're not chatting. This guy is out getting ready to go to the club with his friends. I'm a church girl for 3 years, and I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, this can definitely not be God.
I told you I was still in the world. I told you I was trying to.
But I didn't know you were still all like that. I was like, but we did when you told me when we went on our walk.
Yes.
And you told me that you were still living that life, and
that was the night before. Yeah.
And I just shared the love of Jesus with you, and shared that God would change you when you were ready.
We went walking for 5.5 hours in Austin on Town Lake. We went walking for 5.5 hours, and it had seemed like maybe 5 minutes had gone by. Like, this was the first time that we were being open and honest, and this was different. There was something definitely different about you.
Yeah.
And we talk, and we're good, and then we say goodbye to each other, and the next day rolls around, and I'm like, I'm excited. I'm ready to see you again. And I heard everything you said. So, you know what I mean? As smooth as I am, I made dinner for you, and I had dessert.
Oh, this is my favorite part, because you really thought he was such in the world that he really thought that because he was in the world, he just thought he was going to he was Casanova or something.
Oh my God. No, I did. I
did. That's why.
I thought I was.
He thought, look at those big dimples.
What I'm saying was, I was in the world, and she was beautiful.
Dimples.
She was beautiful, and to be honest, I thought I was gonna get some. I thought I was gonna sleep with her. I knew it was gonna make it happen that night. I already had it all.
And then you just thought you just could smile at me and show me those big dimples.
Bro, I get a knock on my door, and I go and open it, and this woman walks in with her Bible over her chest like this, and my mouth dropped, and I'm like, what's that? And she says, my Bible. And I'm like, what are we going to do with that? And she goes, we're going to read it. What did you think we were going to do? And she goes and clank, just drops it right on my glass coffee table.
Okay, hold on. How did that make you feel? Like knowing I came with my Bible, like there was, like, for me, like, what did that make you feel like, knowing I was showing up to your door, and I'm like some Jehovah's Witness, but like, what did it make you feel like as a man that some woman showed up to your house with the word of God, with something that you've never experienced?
I think a little bit of it was the fact that, like, in my prayer hour, locked up in prison, I said I wanted somebody good, and we had just got finished talking for like ever the day before, and to see that your actions lined up with your words when you were talking. And then the best part is what's next is you come and we sit down, and you're like, do you have a Bible? And I'm like, yeah, I got a Bible. So I went under my bed and I found it,
It
the
was
one from
dusty.
prison, and I get it, and I'm like, you know what I mean? And all the dust goes everywhere, and I hadn't opened it up since maybe I got out. Yeah, fingerprints. Probably had some old noodle wrapper in there still or something, but I had probably hadn't opened it since I got out of prison. And lo and behold, we open it up, and we have some of the same scriptures highlighted.
Yeah.
That was, and then we had some of the same stories in there talking about you wanted a friend, and I wanted a good woman to.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this was it. Well, here's when I knew that I had won. Because Miss Nina looks at me and she says, how does it feel to know you'll never kiss me unless we get married?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all I heard was she wanted to marry me. That's all I heard. I didn't hear the fact that I couldn't kiss you. All I heard was the fact that you were thinking about marriage. And I was like, what? So you're saying I got a chance? And she goes, how does it feel to know that we'll never sleep together unless we get married?
And I think for me, the reason why, you said insanity is doing the same thing. But my pastor always taught us too that if you want something different, you got to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for a long time, I did everything wrong and backwards. Like, I did. If I wanted something different versus just sleeping with somebody and giving them, all of me, I felt like I wanted something different. So I needed to do something different. And at this time, I remember going to a women's retreat. And when I went to that women's retreat, which is called an Encounter God Weekend, and that's something that our church offers as well. And, we have a piece of property that we do Encounter God Weekends at. And, when I went to mine 18 years ago, I remember sitting in a room at a hotel, and this was when they had them in Houston. And I remember sitting in a big old room, and they had about 200 ladies, and I was sitting up at the very front, and I literally felt like God literally kicked me through those doors, and I literally felt like God was talking directly to me, and they were talking about having a new slate, and that you could be forgiven for your sexual sins and sexual situations in your life. And I was like, wow, like I can get a new beginning. I can get a new slate. I can be a virgin again.
Yeah.
And because I had so much hurt and I had given myself away to people that didn't value that, I felt like, well, if this is my opportunity, what do I have to lose? What do I have to lose if I just leave all of that out? What do I have to lose? And I remember telling God at that encounter, at that retreat, I remember telling God, I've done a horrible job of screwing up my life, but I really need you to tell me what to do. And if you're giving me a real new beginning and you're really giving me a new slate, then I won't sleep with another man. I felt like I made a covenant at that moment with God. Like I married him that day, and he put a ring on my finger, and like the prodigal son, he put a ring on my finger, and he told me that I was his child, and that, he clothed me with a robe, and he covered my shame. And I was like, okay, I'll never sleep with another man again until I get married. And, in those 3 years, don't think that it wasn't like no guy came knocking at my door, because there were some, but it was like, nah. At this time now, I felt like I was worth everything and that nobody deserved to get me dirty, or nobody deserved that part of me ever again unless it was my husband.
That was the difference that really stood out about you with me, was you were one of the first women that I had met that knew their value.
Mm-hmm.
Because my goal in life before Christ was to see how much I could get out of a woman, how quick I could get it, and what she could do for me. That was my understanding of a relationship, of me being with a woman. And when I met you, and you had this standard, and you knew your value, and that you told me that, if we weren't intimate, that there's a blessing behind that.
Yeah.
And my prayer, well, at that point, I said, okay. When you told me that on the couch, I said, okay, sign me up. What do I gotta do?
Yeah.
Where do I sign up at?
Yeah.
You go that it was we're gonna court.
Yeah.
And me and you courted.
Courted. What did that mean? Like, you
Courted.
never heard that word, right? Like,
Yeah, I didn't know what courted was.
I had heard
I
it.
thought you had to sign up for it online or something.
Like, we're going to court?
Yeah, like you sign up and you're
Like, we're going to go to jail?
Yeah.
No,
So
yeah. I remember too hearing that in the spiritual realm of courting, and what that means is like, we'll be friends. We will talk about Jesus. It's not like it, and I think a lot of people get that get it backwards or get it twisted, if I should say, is, a lot of single women think like, oh, I can pray with him, and oh, I can change him, and oh, this and oh, that. No, it was more like we were just courting. We were just friends. We were going to know each other, and you were going to find your relationship with Christ, and I was going to continue to find my relationship with Christ. And if God wanted us together, then we would be together. But if not,
it was one of the biggest prayers that we both had, because Miss Nina was walking her walk, and I wanted what
3 years. I didn't kiss nobody, talk to nobody.
Yeah, like she was walking her walk. I wanted what she had. I wanted this faith that she had. I knew God, I just didn't know how to love God. And I think that was probably the best way Pastor Lillian said it. So we start courting, and that was it. Today
Courting means we became
friends, and today I tell her and remind her that, I was truly your first disciple. Oh. And because of that, we now celebrate 7 kids together.
Yes.
We've been married 16 years.
And we never kissed, and we never held hands.
We didn't kiss until
the night we got married.
We didn't kiss until we got to the altar.
That's right.
And we didn't sleep together until the night of our wedding.
And we can wholeheartedly say that before the Lord.
Yes.
It's not, for us, it's not to, it's to show God's goodness and God's glory, that there's something beautiful that happens spiritually when you truly submit your life to Christ and you really wait for intimacy to be one. Because when a husband and a wife, when they sleep together, they become one. And spiritually, we understand that today, which we never knew in the world.
And that was
today we do.
That was mine. My prayer was, God, renew my eyes for her daily, that I would find her more attractive tomorrow than I did today. And that was 16 years ago. And
we truly love marriages.
We do. God's done a lot for us and through us, and this is what we are going to do. This is what the New Beginnings is bringing you. It's going to bring you the real life testimonies of each other and what God has done for people, through people. This is going to be a ongoing season of how we are here to help and serve you,
and how God gives hope to people. I mean, and that's what God did with using Bishop and Pastor Lillian, and their story brought hope into our life. And now we can turn around and bring hope into other people's lives, just like the people in prison, just like the men that you disciple and you share, and people that were once smoking, or people that were once incarcerated, and being able to share the goodness and how God truly does transform and give people new beginnings.
Absolutely.
And it is no longer I that live, but he that liveth in me. And this is the beauty of what New Beginnings is. And so we're super excited. We can't wait to share the next episode.
Our next episode is going to be released. Please like, follow, subscribe, share all of our platforms. You'll see it right afterwards. We really do appreciate you. We thank you. We honor you. On behalf of myself and my beautiful wife, Miss Nina, we love you, and we couldn't do this without you.
Without viewers, without people,
without you,
liking it.
Yes, so
even if you have questions, they can even ask questions, right? So we can answer them.
Questions, let us know. You're gonna see all of it. Do us a favor,
and we have so much more to share. We have so much more to share. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to share.
We appreciate you. Good one.
See you next time.
I'll holler at you.